Hello children, today we'll learn the 6th chapter in science. The name of the chapter is How Plants Make Food. Animals cannot prepare food, whereas plants can prepare food by using carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. They prepare food by a process called photosynthesis. At the end of this chapter, we'll be able to explain that plants are primary producers of food for living things on earth. Describe the process of photosynthesis and the role of chlorophyll in it. Explain how plants and animals depend on each other. Imagine a world without plants. What would you eat? Fruits, vegetables and rice. But all of these come from plants. What about meat and eggs? These come from animals. But what do animals eat to live? If goats and hens did not have grass and grains, what would they eat? So what do you think will happen if there were no plants? Imagine the world without plants. If plants are not there, then even animals could have not survived. Because there are one group of animals, we call them as herbivores. They eat the plants as food. Those herbivores are eaten by one more group of animals called carnivores, which eat the flesh of herbivores. Just imagine if there is no plant, these herbivore plants eating animal will not survive. Whereas if the plant eating animal, if it doesn't survive, even the flesh eating animal, carnivore also will not survive. So if there is no plant, so no organism. It can be animals or any category of animals. They do not survive in this world. So plants are very important for the survival of all the organisms on our earth. Why are leaves green? Look around a garden. Most plants that you see are green in color. So when you see different plants in a garden, you may observe most of the plants, they have green colored leaves. They look green because of their green leaves. Plants, they appear green because of the green color leaves. What do you think makes the leaves green? So why the leaves are green in color? That we'll learn. Leaves have a green substance called chlorophyll. So there is a green substance present in the leaf which is called chlorophyll that gives them the green color. The green color of the leaf is due to a pigment called chlorophyll. Did you know that non-green living things such as mushrooms cannot make their own food? This is because chlorophyll is necessary for plants to make food. You might have seen mushroom. Mushroom is not green in color. When it is not green in color, that indicates it doesn't contain chlorophyll. As chlorophyll is absent in mushroom, it cannot prepare food. It cannot prepare its own food. You can see here the plants or trees, they appear green. That is mainly because of green leaves. Why the leaves are green in color? Due to a substance or pigment called chlorophyll. Looking back, a new plant which is white in color is discovered. Do you think it can make its own food? Why or why not? Suppose if we see a plant which is white in color, so that is an indication it is not having chlorophyll pigment. If it doesn't contain chlorophyll pigment, it cannot prepare its own food. So any plant which is not green in color doesn't contain chlorophyll pigment. If it doesn't contain chlorophyll pigment, it cannot prepare food. How do plants make food? The process by which plants make food is called photosynthesis. If they ask you what is photosynthesis, your answer should be, it is a process by which plants make food or plants prepare food. Photo means light and synthesis means putting together. Here photo means light. Synthesis means something is being produced. So here what is being produced? Food. Leaves use water from the soil, carbon dioxide from the air and sunlight to make food. If they ask you name the three components required to make food in plants, your answer should be water, it gets from soil, carbon dioxide, it will get from air, then sunlight. So water, carbon dioxide and sunlight are required to prepare food for plants. Water. The water needed to make food is taken up from the soil by the root. The water that is required to prepare food in plants is taken up from the soil. By which part? Roots. It goes up the stem to the leaves. From the roots, water will go to stem. Then from the stem, it will reach the leaves. Look carefully at a leaf. You can see lines all over the leaf. So these are tubes that take water to all parts of the leaf. They are called veins. If you observe a leaf closely, you can see these lines. The center big line, it is called midrib, thick one. Then you can see sides. So these are called side veins. Do you know these veins and midrib, they will help in distributing water to all the part of the leaf. All the part of the leaf, the water will be transported mainly through midrib and side veins. This entire region of the leaf is called leaf blade, this one. Okay, this is midrib and these are actually called as side veins. Carbon dioxide. On the underside of the leaves, there are very small openings called stomata. These openings are so small that you will not be able to see them. Air enters the leaves through these openings. Leaves take in carbon dioxide from the air to make food. So especially in the lower part of the leaf, that too if you observe in the microscope, you can see many tiny pores. If you observe here, many tiny pores you can see. So these tiny pores present in the lower part of the leaf. In few leaf, it is also present in its upper part. So these tiny pores are called stomata. Other than water, for photosynthesis, to prepare food requires one more component called carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide from the air will enter into the plant through the stomata of the leaf. Through the stomata of the leaf, carbon dioxide will enter into the leaf. These stomata are so small that we cannot see them through our naked eye. It can be seen only with the help of microscope. Microscope means it is a device which can be used to see minute things. Leaves take in carbon dioxide from the air to make food. Even along with water, leaf also require carbon dioxide from the air to prepare food. Next, sunlight. Sunlight provides the energy needed to make food. Sunlight will give the energy for the plant to make food. Part of the sunlight falling on a leaf is trapped by chlorophyll. So, the leaf is green in color because of chlorophyll pigment. You can see the chlorophyll pigment here. Chlorophyll. Okay, these are actually chlorophyll pigment. This also you cannot see through the naked eye. So, only through the microscope you can see the chlorophyll pigments clearly. Through the naked eye we can just see the leaf is green in color. The green color of the leaf is due to chlorophyll pigment. Chlorophyll pigment will trap or capture or absorb the sunlight that is falling on the leaf. Using the energy of sunlight, leaves change water and carbon dioxide into a kind of sugar, which is the food of the plant. So, by using the energy of the sunlight, leaves will change water and carbon dioxide into a type of sugar, which is the food of the plant. You can see in this picture. So, water is actually moving up from the stem to the leaf. Okay, then the leaf by using chlorophyll pigment will trap the sunlight. Okay, by using the energy from the sunlight, it will utilize carbon dioxide as well as water and it will prepare food in the form of sugar. During photosynthesis process, means when plant prepare food, it also releases a gas out. That gas is nothing but oxygen. The food that is prepared in the plant, in the leaf, so that is actually transported to other part of the plant. You can see here red color arrow mark. The food is actually being transported to other part of the plant. The food is taken through the veins and the stem to all parts of the plant. The food from the leaf is supplied to all the part of the plant, mainly through veins. A part of the food is changed into other substances. A part of the food is changed into other substances and used up by the plant. So, part of the food is changed into other substances and it is mainly used by the plant for these processes. One is for growth, other one is for making flowers, fruits and seeds, mainly to produce flower, fruits and seeds in the plant, even repairing damage. If there is any damage or injury that occurs to the plant, to repair the damage also, the food is actually used. The rest is changed into a substance called starch. The extra food, the excess food produced by the plant is stored in the form of starch. and stored in fruits. Usually starch is stored in fruits, seeds, leaves, roots or the stem. These are the part of the plant in which starch is stored. Starch is nothing but the food that is present excess, okay, in plant, that is stored in the form of starch. It is a type of carbohydrate. You will be learning. It is stored in fruits, seeds, leaves, roots or stem. When we eat food from plants, we actually eat sugar. Whenever we eat food from plants, we actually eat sugar, starch and other substances that the plants make for themselves. So whenever we eat food from plants, we actually eat these sugar. Whenever we eat fruit from plants, okay, usually we eat sugar, starch and other substances that the plants make for themselves. So it can be fruit, it can be seed, it can be leaves, stem, even sometimes the root of the plant we eat. So whenever we eat, we get this sugar, starch. Looking back, why are leaves known as the food factory of the plant? Think, what happens in a factory? In what way is a leaf is like a factory? Do you know leaves are called as food factory because leaves of the plant will help in preparing food through a process called photosynthesis. So that is why it is actually called as factory. Activity. Aim to test a leaf for starch and show that a light is needed for photosynthesis. So we're going to test a leaf for starch and show that a light is needed for photosynthesis. Materials required. A potted plant, you can have a look at. Black paper, you can have a look at. A beaker of water, okay, beaker of water is required. A beaker of alcohol, even alcohol is required. A burner, you can have a look at. This is the burner. A saucer, an ink dropper, iodine solution. So we require a saucer, an ink dropper and iodine solution. So we're going to learn how we are going to use this method. Place the potted plant in a dark place so that it uses up any starch it has already produced. Starch is the food which is stored in plant, remember. Okay, now we keep the potted plant in a dark room so that whatever starch that is collected in the leaves of these plant will be used up. So now no starch should be present in that particular leaves of the plant. Cover part of a leaf with a black paper so that a light cannot reach it. Now we need to cover a part of the leaf with a black paper. Why you are covering with a black paper? Because we are blocking the light that is falling on this leaf. Place the plant in sunlight for few hours and then plug the covered leaf. Now you need to keep this potted plant in sunlight for many hours. Okay, now few hours. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 hours we are going to keep. Okay, then pluck this particular leaf. This leaf which is being covered with a black paper is plucked. Okay, boil the covered leaf for a few minutes. Then we need to boil it for a few minutes. First in water. First we need to boil that leaf in water and then in alcohol. Okay, then we are going to keep that particular leaf in a beaker containing alcohol, and that beaker containing alcohol should be placed in one more container where water is taken. Never boil the alcohol directly, it will catch fire. So what we do is we'll use one container. In that we'll take water first. We'll boil that water. In that boiling water, we're going to keep the beaker containing alcohol with the leaf. Okay, why we are using alcohol? Because alcohol will bleach the leaf. It will remove the pigments. So chlorophyll pigments and all that will be removed. It will bleach the leaf. That's why remove its color. So that is why we are actually keeping the leaf in the alcohol. Take out the leaf and wash it in cold water. Take out the leaf from the beaker like containing alcohol. Then you need to wash it in cold water. Add a few drops of iodine solution. To this add a few drops of iodine solution to the leaf with the help of the ink dropper. So add a few drops of iodine solution to the leaf with the help of ink dropper. So with the help of ink dropper, you can add iodine solution on this particular leaf. Observation and conclusion. Okay, what observation and conclusion we can give related to this activity? You will notice that the uncovered part of the leaf turns bluish black, especially the part of the leaf which is not covered with a black color. You can see here. So they will turn bluish black. Remember, whenever iodine is added, iodine will give bluish black color when starch is present. So this region was not covered with a black paper. So usually when it is kept in sunlight, they prepare food and starch is stored here. So when you place iodine, they give bluish black color with iodine. Okay, then whereas the covered part does not change color. So whereas the covered part, it doesn't change color. It doesn't change color because it didn't receive sunlight. So naturally starch is not produced and stored here. So when we add iodine, as starch is not present here, it doesn't give bluish color. So this shows that uncovered part contains starch. So uncovered part is these two. It contains starch. The covered part did not get any light and so did not produce starch. So this covered part didn't get sunlight. So it didn't produce starch. What this indicates, sunlight is very important for starch to be produced. And how we can identify starch, presence of starch? By using iodine. When we add iodine, if we get blue color, starch is present. If it doesn't give blue color, starch is absent. Now we have one more activity here. Aim to test that chlorophyll is needed for photosynthesis. So here this activity we perform just to test chlorophyll pigment is very important for photosynthesis. Materials required: a green and white leaf, a sheet of paper. Croton leaves you can use where you have both green and white color in it. Sheet of paper, a beaker of water, a beaker of alcohol, a burner, a saucer, an ink dropper, iodine solution. Ink dropper is used to place iodine. Now method: draw the outline of the leaf on the paper, mark the green areas. So we need to draw the outline on a paper and you need to mark the green areas. Repeat steps 4 to 6 of the previous activity. 4 to 6 is this. So this particular leaf is actually placed in water first. It is boiled. So then it is actually placed in alcohol. Then it is boiled so that alcohol remove the complete pigments in that. Okay. Then so next what we do is take out the leaf and wash it in cold water. We'll take out the leaf, wash it in cold water, then add a few drops of iodine to the leaf, and with the help of the ink dropper we'll add iodine. Observation and conclusion: compare the leaf with your sketch. You will notice that only parts of the leaf that were green are now blue-black in color. So this shows that chlorophyll is needed for making food. See here, what we do is we take this particular leaf with containing green as well as white colors. Croton leaves you can use. So you'll get green as well as white patches in that. Okay. So then what we do is, we know the green colored part, usually it will undergo photosynthesis because it has chlorophyll pigment. Only the region of the leaf containing chlorophyll pigment can prepare food. Okay. So naturally this green colored region will prepare food. Green colored region. So this will prepare food. Now what we do, so this particular green colored leaf, later we actually place it in water, boil, place it in alcohol, then we'll boil. So then what will happen? It will bleach, completely will become somewhat whitish or creamish in color. Then later when we add iodine, only in the region, okay, where green colored were present, so which we have marked in the sheet of paper, only in that region it will be bluish black, indicating only in the green region starch is produced. Whereas in the whitish part, so we don't get a blue color, indicating starch is absent there. So this indicates that chlorophyll pigment is very important for the preparation of food in the form of starch. Plants and animals depend on each other. Living things use oxygen from the air to breathe. Usually all living organisms, they use, both plants and animals, they use oxygen from the air to breathe. Carbon dioxide is given out when we breathe. So usually when we breathe, we take the oxygen in and we give carbon dioxide. During photosynthesis, leaves take in carbon dioxide from the air and give out oxygen. So during photosynthesis process, leaves, they take in carbon dioxide and they also give out oxygen. Small part of oxygen will be used by, small percentage of oxygen will be used by plants. Rest it will give out to the environment. This shows that animals depend on plants for oxygen. So what this indicates, animals require oxygen, for that they are dependent on plants. Whereas plants depend on animals for carbon dioxide. We breathe the air in, that is oxygen we take, we give out carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide will be utilized by plants for photosynthesis and it gives out oxygen. So we are dependent on each other, plants and animals. You have already studied about food chain. Herbivores eat plants, carnivores eat herbivores, omnivores eat both plants and other animals. All animals therefore depend on plants for food. You know what is food chain? It is one series where one organism eats other. Usually herbivore will eat plants. Herbivore will be later eaten by omnivores. Okay, omnivores. Okay, no, herbivore is first eaten by carnivores. Okay, later by omnivores also. Okay, remember, herbivore will eat plants. Okay, herbivore is eaten by either carnivore or omnivore. Okay, now all animals therefore depend on plants for food. If there is no plant, herbivore will die. If there is no herbivore, both carnivore and omnivore will die. So this indicates all organisms, especially animals, they depend on plants for their food. Then, in nature, a balance is maintained between number of plants and animals. In nature, a balance is maintained between number of plants and animals. Because there is balance, plants get enough carbon dioxide to make food. So due to this balance in the number of animals, okay, usually plants will get carbon dioxide to make food. And animals get food and oxygen from plants. And animals will get food and oxygen mainly from plants. The balance in nature will be disturbed if the number of plants or animals increases or decreases greatly. So this balance in the number of plants and animals should be always maintained. If it is disturbed, so how it is disturbed? Suppose if the number of plants increases or decreases. Same manner, if the number of animals increases or decreases, so this balance will be upset. We should protect nature to make sure that balance is not disturbed. We should always protect nature so this balance is not disturbed. Just check in this particular picture. So we breathe and we give carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide is used by plants and they release oxygen. That oxygen will be used by us. At the same way, so plants will also give food for us. Yeah. At the end of this chapter, so let me summarize. All green plants make their own food. The process by which plants make food is called photosynthesis. Green leaves contain chlorophyll which traps sunlight for photosynthesis. Green leaves use water from the soil, carbon dioxide from the air and energy from sunlight to make food. Extra food prepared by plants is stored as starch in root, stem, leaves, fruits and seeds. During photosynthesis, plants take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen which we breathe. We should do our best to maintain the balance between the number of plants and animals in nature.